Welcome back to my YouTube channel. So I am just killing it with transformations lately. We've been doing so many fun changes for fall. We all know that when fall comes, blondes usually want to go darker and brunettes want to go lighter to add in dimension. So today we are going to be taking my mom a little bit lighter. And I know what most of you are thinking. She's been dark for a while. She used to be blonde, but we're not going back full blonde. We're giving her a blonde transformation for autumn. So if you're interested in watching this video, then stay tuned. Alright you guys, so we are back at the mixing table and we are going to start mixing what we are using on her today. So we are going to be using Joico Blonde Life. This lightener gets you up to 9 levels of lift and I really have enjoyed using it. So we are going to start off with a scoop and a half and we are going to be using this with 20 volume today. And with lightener, I just like to mix it to a good consistency. I don't necessarily measure it out because every lightener is different and the consistency that I'm looking for with each client varies. And with her, I do want it to be a little bit runnier so we get more use out of the product. And I do feel like lightener that's a little bit thicker swells easier. So as soon as that's mixed up, we're gonna put a little bit of Olaplex in. We're just gonna do a 1/16 of an ounce and mix that in so her hair stays protected and shiny and healthy throughout the whole service. Now, as soon as that lightener is mixed up, we're going to be doing a root coverage color as well. So for this, we're gonna be using Joico Lumishine and we're using 6NN. This is the base color that I'm wanting her roots to be. And she definitely needs the gray coverage, which is why we're doing a double pigment. And we're going to be mixing that equal parts with 20 volume. This is the Vero K-Pack Developer that goes along with their color line. We're going to be doing highlights on her using the lightener today, and then we're going to be putting this root color in between the foils to even everything out. Her base is about a 5 right now. Some areas like a 4 or 5 because they were more porous and took her last color darker. And I'm doing a 6 just to kind of start transitioning lighter, and we're adding highlights in, so I don't want to do anything too harsh because then it will be too contrasted. So this is what we're going to be mixing up, and then we're doing the highlights with that Joico Blonde Life. Okay, so now we have both of our colors mixed up. We're going to start first with the highlights and then do the paint between afterwards, and then we are going to be adding extensions, so stay tuned. Okay, so what we're working with here is 3 different colors that we're trying to knock through. So the first is her natural regrowth, which is only about 1/2 inch, but you can see that she is about 70% gray, so we do need to cover most of that. And then right here we have her old base color, which is about a level 5, and then down here we have her faded ends, and I actually really like some of the tones in here, so we're gonna leave some of that for dimension and then lighten up the rest. But when we do these highlights, you can't necessarily just do a full highlight up to here, because if you do that, these are gonna go really blonde, this is gonna be warmer, and then that will be lighter, so it would be really uneven. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna highlight very small sections so they lift evenly, taking most of it through here to lighten, and then feathering up through the base so it's a nice transition, and then the permanent color we mixed up is gonna be what goes on her roots. Okay, so we're going to be going off of where she parts her hair. If your client parts their hair in the middle and they like to tousle it every which way, then always go off of the middle so they could part on the left or the right. But if they always stick with one solid part, always part there. So she likes to part her hair right about here. So I'm going to go off of that and divide her hair into 4 quadrants. So I'm going to divide this front section out.
Time stops when I'm falling for you. Stop spinning, my head is spinning too. Time stops when I'm falling for you. Should I stop or are you falling for me? As your world stops spinning, as
Okay, so for the first foil, I'm gonna go on a slight angle above the ear, right like this. And if this was a blonde client trying to get blonder, or if we were just going for a super blonde look today, I would focus more around the hairline and give her more money pieces. But since we're still wanting her to have depth and a darker base, we're just gonna be working with the natural head shape. So I'm gonna pull the hair out like this, and I'm gonna start up here at the root, and I'm gonna do tiny baby lights. When I baby light, I don't know if you noticed, but I like to stay at the root instead of coming down here. And I also pull out instead of going up and down. For example, when you do a traditional highlight, a lot of times we learn to start down here and pick up like this. But if you see that stitching pattern, it's a little too thick for what we're going for. My style is more baby lights, softer looks, and more seamless transition. And to get that, I like to stay at the root, because a lot of times if you do start down here, you end up pushing excess hair up and it gets messy. So if we stay close to the top, we're gonna draw little U's, and we're not gonna go up and down. I'm almost pulling it out towards me, and you almost act like you're just drawing those little U's like this. So that's what I'm gonna do to achieve this baby light. And then I'm using my Framar foils, and I'm gonna pull tight tension so I don't get any slippage. And I'm using the pretty little ombre brushes. I absolutely love these for highlighting. And I am going to knock through some of that base color down here first, because it is a little darker down here. And then as we move up the head, I'll start feathering into it. But I'm saturating this whole thing pretty well, and then I will just kind of take my brush up and feather, but I'm trying to avoid her natural regrowth. The second foil is going to be similar. I'm not leaving a ton of subsections. I am doing these highlights pretty close together, but the highlights themselves are pretty small. So it's not gonna look like she has a blonde highlight in her dark hair. It's gonna look more like a sombre. And then I like to fold my foils up once halfway, and then one more time extending over the top, and then I pull my foils and tighten like that. And then that's all I do. I don't go in and fold the corners, but I wait until I have about 5 foils in there, and then I take my comb and I fold those corners in like this, and that actually saves you time and keeps your foils clean.
Okay, so right here, me and Stu are just tag teaming the foils. So he is on one side, I'm on the other, and we're just doing the same thing. And then we're going to meet up in the middle, and then we will each do a section in the back as well. And I just wanted to give Stu a shout out because he came all the way here from Florida to work with us. So he moved here to Utah, and he's been doing so well. He's been assisting at the salon, and he is just killing it. So any chance he gets, he is eager to learn, and that's what we're doing here. He wanted to help out with this process so that he could understand more in depth about color and toning, placement, formulation, all of that. So just wanted to give him a shout out. Make sure you guys go follow him on Instagram.
Okay, so now that we've worked our way up to about right here, we're gonna start focusing some money pieces in. I really believe that the difference between a good balayage and a bad balayage is the money pieces, because if you don't do a good money piece or a good face frame, it looks like grown out highlights. But if you have something higher up around the face, it looks more sun-kissed and natural. So now that we're about right here, I'm gonna do a tiny slice on a little angle like that. And I'm gonna pull tight tension on my foil with that slice. And then we're gonna saturate, pulling it down all the way and then feathering into the root. And then we're gonna fold that foil up. Okay, so now that we are done with the highlights, we're gonna go through and do the gray coverage. And what I like to do is start at the top, and I'm gonna flip the foils back, and I'm gonna get in there, and then see how I can see a little bit of her hair peeking out of the foil. I'm gonna dab right there too, since we didn't take the lightener up to that, and I wanna make sure it gets covered. And what I do is when I'm starting on a new section, I dab first, do the top and the back of the last foil, and then lift this up and do underneath. And a little bit of product goes a long way when you're doing something like this. You never want to flood that root with too much product, because especially when the highlights are right there, it could bleed and it could cause a lot of issues. So I always say start with less, and then you can add more if needed.
Time stops when I'm falling for you. The world stops spinning. My head is spinning too. Time stops when I'm
Okay, you guys, so we are now mixing up the toner. I already mixed up the end toner, and what I used is Redken Shades EQ 9V, 8N, 8NA, 9NB, and 7NB. That 9 and 7 together creates the result of an 8, and I really want her to be sitting at a level 8. So the mix of all those is going to be the perfect tone for her. Equal parts with processing solution, of course. And now we're going to be mixing up her root smudge. So we're going to be using Joico Lumishine for this, and I am going to start off by doing mostly 6N, and I'm going to be doing 0.8 ounces of that, and then I'm just going to do 0.2 ounces of 6NA, and this 6NA is mainly going to be used to counteract any warmth that we run into while lifting, but I want the main tone to be 6N, and then we're going to do equal parts with 5 volume. And I use a lot of Redken Shades EQ and Joico Lumishine, and I always get asked which one is my favorite between the two. And I really don't have an answer because I like them both for different things. Redken also, Redken obviously has the most options. They have a ton of shades. I've used them forever. I always will love them. But Joico has a little bit of better coverage when it comes to root smudges. So the answer would probably be that I like Joico Lumishine better for the root, and then I like this better for the end toners. So that's kind of why I use both, because I feel like I can mix and match and get the best of both worlds.
falling for you.
All right, so now we're at the bowl and we just took out all of her foils, and what I like to do with a blonding appointment like this one is I like to pre-tone with purple shampoo. So the first wash is the Blonde Angel by Kevin Murphy, and then after that we're going to use regular shampoo to cleanse, and then we will begin the toning process.
When I'm falling for you, the world stops spinning, my head is spinning too. Time stops when I'm falling for you. Should I stop or are you falling for me?
Now that she's all rinsed out, we're going to start by brushing out her hair, and then we're going to part down the middle, comb through it, and then we are going to start applying that root. I'm doing a root smudge. I want it to be a little more defined than I would on a normal blonde because I still want her to have a dark base since she does have dimension in her hair still. But we aren't going to drag it down super far because I still want her to have a highlighted look. So I'm starting by doing the perimeter, and then I'm going to work my way up from the nape up to the top of the hairline.
As your world stops spinning, is your head spinning too? Should I stop or are you falling for me? As your world stops spinning, is your head spinning too?
So this is her hair without extensions. I know you guys like to see it before we put the extensions in. So as you can see, she doesn't need extensions. She just wants them because let's be honest, who doesn't?
Who doesn't?
But this is literally the perfect color for any brunette in the winter time or the fall time. And even though it's still August, we want to prepare her for fall by adding some dimension in. So this is the color, and then now we're going to put some extensions in to match.
My world revolves around you. Did your heart stop when you first saw me? Did your world stop spinning? Does your world revolve around me?
Okay, so we are doing the cozy weft on her. We are using the color Desmond, and then we also used colors Kendra and Collie. Those three colors together are like the perfect fall blonde color for brunettes. I absolutely love them. And the cozy weft is so amazing. If you haven't tried it yet, you need to. And if you come to one of our extension trainings, we do train you on the cozy weft as well as machine weft, hand tied, and T-pins.
Spinning too.
Alright you guys, I hope you enjoyed today's video on how to take a brunette more blonde for fall. We absolutely love the way this turned out. As you guys saw, we did the full highlight. We went over toning, smudging, highlighting, gray coverage. We put some extensions in, and I feel like that really just made the hairstyle. I know a lot of you comment on my YouTube channel that you would like to see hair without extensions, but guess what? My life is extensions, so that's probably not gonna happen. And then also I've been wearing this outfit for like 3 videos that I filmed today, and I look terrible, so if you see this outfit in 3 videos, that's why. And what do you guys think of my mom's hair? Please let us know in the comments below, because she's a babe and I feel like this is the perfect color for any brunette wanting to add a little bit of dimension for the next season. How do you feel about it?
Love it.
Amazing.
Love it.
Yep. So if you guys see her at a class upcoming with this hair, give her a cat call, tell her how much you love it, and go comment on my Instagram because I just posted a photo of this as well. Thanks for watching, you guys. Have a great day.